guys, welcome back to the Imprint Diary with me, Joel. During this episode, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to take a little bit of time out to talk about imprinted birds versus parent-reared birds. We get asked a lot of questions on, I really want an imprint, but I heard that every time you imprint a bird, they end up a screaming mess versus a parent-reared bird. But then if you get a parent-reared bird, they're not as brave and as settled as imprints. Both have their pros and cons, guys. What you have to basically boil it down to is what you want to get out your bird, okay? Now, imprinted birds, they do run the risk of being a bit more vocal, but let's understand something, guys. There is no such thing really as a silent bird, okay? I've seen imprints that, God, no matter how much food they have or anything like that, they are screaming constantly. But then I've also seen parent-reared birds that people have trained and flown that are really vocal. Okay, so take that into consideration. There isn't some magical thing that imprints are going to be horrendously screamy, and there's no such thing as like parent-reared birds are going to be magically silent, okay? There's definitely pros and cons about it. Imprinting is just weeks and weeks of manning. That's basically what you got to think of it as. If you pick up a parent-reared bird, you're essentially getting it wild. So with imprinting, you can get them used to a load of different scenarios, okay? But the thing I find when we're imprinting, whether it's an eagle, falcon, hawk, whatever, is the food, okay? Now, a lot of people make the mistake of keeping an imprinted bird on scheduled meals. Now think about it in the wild. In the wild, if a baby starts getting hungry, or even any baby starts getting hungry, it's going to scream for its mother, okay? Now, when you're imprinting, bear that in mind. Now, this is why I leave all my imprints with 24-hour food, so then they can grow up with food. They've never known hunger, so it curves that want to scream for food, okay? When you're imprinting as well, stimulate the bird. You know, you've got this perfect opportunity of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, however long, where it'll just soak up stimulation and enrichment. You know, get it used to hanging out with dogs, different people, you know, everything that it's going to see throughout its life, get it used to it in that early age. But I don't even start thinking about dropping an imprint's weight till it's fully feathered and, you know, ready to go. So then I start training it like a parent-reared kind of bird. But I've just imprinted it up to the point where it's hard-penned and ready to fly. Never rush your bird. I get so many people that are literally dropping an imprint's weight at 8, 9 weeks, and it's like, well, it's not even got full flight feathers yet, and you're, you know, trying to get it at flying weight. And then it ends up a horrible screaming mess, because every time it sees you, you're the only one that's ever fed it, so it starts screaming at you for more food. So be sensible about it. If you're going to give it scheduled meals, because that's what you want to do, don't let it see where the food comes from. Wait till it's asleep, or, you know, wait till it's distracted, then put the food down. And all these little tricks and tips will help as it develops, and it will stop it, well, hopefully, being a noisy bird. Now, you know, if you really can't deal with a noisy bird and stuff, maybe falconry isn't the thing for you. I mean, some people will say, oh, my bird is completely silent and it's never made a noise. Yeah, it does happen. I mean, I've got Blair, my falcons. In fact, most of my falcons are completely silent, but it makes no difference. Some of them are imprints and some of them are parent-reared. So think about the training and the time that you can put to it. Get an imprint, great, brilliant way. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's a great experience to raise up a baby bird. But think about the food, okay? And so don't get it really, really hungry. Give it like a food meal in the morning, and it see you give it to you. Because guess what? Next time it's hungry and it sees you, it's going to start calling for food, okay? And this is how, you know, people get them into breeding condition and things like that. So just bear that in mind. I mean, I'm not saying my way's the best way of doing it, but I never rush them with the food because they're imprinted to you. You know, they're going to be a really well-confident, hopefully well-mannered bird by the time they come to the flying weight anyway. So you don't really need to drop their weight or particularly fly them like a parent-reared bird. But to stop that level of noise, don't let it see you as a food source, basically. You know, so get other people to hang around with it and stuff. You know, if you've got different members in your family, get them to play with it. You know, so it's grown up, you know, hanging out with dogs, hanging out with different people, and it's never really known where its food's coming from. It's just always kind of been there on a swung lure or a plate when it's a baby. So then when you start flying it and you're swinging that lure, it's like, right, okay, I know that's a food source, and it goes crazy for it and hopefully ends up a really, really good flying bird. So enjoy the imprinting phase. That's why we're doing this diary from the start right the way through up to hopefully flying really well. But I will not even consider dropping weight or even putting her on scheduled meals till she's well on carcass and well on the lure, okay? Because there's just really no point. So take a step back. If you are thinking about imprinting, figure out what bird you want to do. Because like birds like a Harris hawk, for example, no point imprinting it. You know, they're a really clever social bird anyway, so save yourself a bit of time, get it parent reared, and then enjoy training and flying it from then. But if you do want to imprint a falcon, great, but just get the ground rules set in place. Okay, think about what you want your bird to achieve, what you want it, how you want it to develop. You know, if you know it's going to be a demo bird down at a centre and it's got to be used to flying in front of 600-700 people or however many people, you know, maybe imprinting would be better because you can get it used to that environment literally from a baby. You know, and same with pest control as well. If you're flying it down busy industrial sites and factories and cars and stuff, you know, maybe an imprint would be better because you can get it used to it as a young age, you know. So there is pros and cons to it, but yeah, don't be under the illusion that if you get an imprint it's going to scream the house down. Talk to your breeder. When you're thinking about getting a bird, obviously some birds are more vocal than others. Have a word with your breeder, find out how it's been raised, you know. Things like this, because it all makes a big difference, guys. So, you know, has it been fed up on a good quality diet? You know, has it, you know, been left with its parents? You know, all little things like this. And go and see the bird. Okay, if you want a falcon, you know, go down and have a look at the birds that you're picking. See what its temperament's like. I mean, if it's there screaming already and stuff, but the one line next to it is a lot more silent, a bit more chilled out, and you think, oh, that's going to be better for me, pick that one. You know, communicate with your breeders and find out how it's been raised, what the parents have been had done with, you know, are they from good stock, level-headed stock? All questions like this will help you further on down the line. So then when you pick up an imprint, you can just sit back, enjoy having a wonderful time raising it up from young. But whatever you go for, parent reared or imprinting, both of them have pros and cons. And you'll see as this video develops. But yeah, I don't automatically think that if you get an imprint you're going to be stuck with a horrible screaming mess, because quite a lot of it is how you've been raised, how it's raised, especially with that food association. I always find. Now, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. If anybody's got any other opinions, feel free to leave it in the comments. You know, that's what I want Falconry Tube to be, a hub of information and video evidence so people can see how it's done. But all I'm saying is this is what I do with goshawks, falcons, eagles. For those people that have followed me for a while on Instagram and stuff, you'll see all the different birds and that we've done. And, you know, touch wood, all of them ended up pretty nice level-headed birds. Yeah, so also, as you can see with the imprints, keep them with you a lot. Don't leave them in your house all day not seeing anything, and then when you come back they're already starving hungry. You know, think about what your time scale and that allows. Because at the end of the day, the end result is you want a bird that flies really well and you can have 10, 15 years amazing hunting and flying with it. So think about the beginning stages, do it properly, and then you will have a falconry career that will last you your entire adult life or whatever. Yeah, so I'll show you some tricks and tips as these videos go on, but I just wanted to clear that up. If you've got any other questions, feel free to send them in. Like I say, we do try and answer them all. Yeah, and hope you're enjoying the imprint diary, and we'll keep it coming week by week. Cheers.